coming off a tough game against Hobbs, but hey, a lot of credit to Hobbs. We knew that was a very good football team, and you guys didn't have your best day, but they certainly made it a lot more difficult on you guys.
Yeah, that's a really good football team. Me and you have talked about it off air. That's a very talented group. Coach Stevens has done a great job building that place up culture-wise. Very, very talented. Nothing really flashy. They are just a really good football team. You can tell. I mean, I had coaches tell us about it and kind of give us feedback of where we thought they were and what their impressions of them. And they're exactly what we thought they were. They're a top 4 team in the state that can go and win a state championship this year.
Yeah. Defensively, obviously, you guys had trouble, especially when they got out into the spread. It seemed like for about a quarter and a half, you guys did pretty solid against them, and then, unfortunately, they managed to find some passing lanes, and unfortunately, which has been a little bit of an issue for you guys this year, gave up some big plays as well.
We did give up big plays. I mean, we started off playing okay that first drive. We force them to punt. We get a terrible call. It's not going to change the outcome of the game, but it kind of gets us going. We were playing well. They end up going down and score. We have a really good drive going, stall out. They go down and score again, and then we start giving up big plays. Defensively, we played okay. We got to get better in the secondary by not giving up those big plays. And that starts actually with our linebackers about getting hands-on and rerouting receivers. We didn't do a very good job of that the entire night. But we're going to get better. It's been a good week so far. Hobbs is very talented. They've got Oregon Mountain this week, and then they finish with Carlsbad, and they should be a top 4 seed in the state going into the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. And offensively, again, you talked about it. You had a good opening drive. Unfortunately, ended up stalling out. I should mention one more thing on the defense. You guys forced turnovers again. I mean, that was another good day where you guys were able to ball hawk, and I think ended up with 3 turnovers in the game. So that's obviously a positive for you as well.
It is, but we also turn it over ourselves.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we got to be aggressive. We got to be aggressive this week as well, trying to go get the football back, get it to us to give us a chance to score. But I wasn't totally disappointed in how we played. I was kind of disappointed in our effort in the first half at certain points in throughout that entire first 2 quarters. But I thought our kids responded in the second half. They played hard, which is something that we pride ourselves on, is that we'll continue to fight. And I thought our kids did that in the second half. Cleaned some things up from halftime, made it a little tougher for them to get the big plays, to really put it away. Ended up getting a couple drives down inside the 20 and 10 that we probably should have scored on. Once again, not going to change the outcome of the game. But just going to have a little better taste in your mouth walking out of that. So those things we got to clean up. That's 2 weeks in a row that we've stalled out inside the red zone, and I think that's 5 drives now in the last 2 weeks that we haven't put touchdowns on the board. That's something that's got to change going into this week.
Yeah, certainly against a very, very good Centennial team. Depends on who you talk to and who the top team in the state is. I know I talked to you, and you'll say that they're number one.
Yeah. They're very, very good.
Yeah. And then I think on offensive, I mean, they obviously didn't let you guys run the ball a ton, and unfortunately, from the pass game perspective, the pass protection obviously was challenging for you guys, and ended up with a couple of turnovers there in the passing game as well.
Our pass pro was not good at all, and that's on us as coaches, and we've got to do some more things to try to simplify, make it easier for our kids. But we didn't protect the quarterback very well at all, and he ate some shots that he shouldn't have to eat. Other than that, we ran the ball at times okay, and you can see Hobbs just kind of physically said, "No, we're done with this," and started kicking our tail up front. And we got to be more aggressive with our linemen up front in the box and controlling the LOS and getting after it. But Hobbs is very talented in the box. I mean, their 3 down linemen, their 2 inside linebackers can go with about anybody in this state.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we'll move on from last week and into this week, and unfortunately it doesn't get any easier. You get another offensive line and defensive line that are very big and very talented with the Centennial team, and it's probably going to be the same kind of things you guys are going to have to do well or do better at this week if you're going to compete against Centennial.
Absolutely. I mean, if you go from the offensive standpoint, we will match up with their defense a lot better than we did with Hobbs. We've got to execute sustained drives and put points on the board. Defensively, their offensive line is absolutely huge, and it's one of the best offensive lines I've seen in the state in quite a few years. Coach Ocampo's done a great job at that program, getting them bought into it, and they're perennial contenders. I think they're in the semifinals last year. They're always going to be up there. When they get the kids like they have this year, they're going to make a deep run at it. That's a very good football team. Micah Gutierrez is a stud running back for them. They got a receiver, Abeda, out there that's a talented. Their offense kind of controls everything. They're very talented defensively, and they fly around, and that's one of the most impressive things is watching them run to the football because they're not overly huge or anything. They just run. They're constantly moving. It's a very talented group. Coach Labyrinth does a good job with that group, but their offense kind of controls everything about what that program is.
And what do you, I mean, in terms of, do you feel like you guys learned some things from going up against a team of caliber Hobbs? Obviously, Hobbs played Centennial really tight. Does playing a team like Hobbs kind of help you out going into a game this week?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Hobbs is the best team we played all year. I mean, there's no that was not a shocker to us. We knew that going into the game. It became very evident to our kids pretty fast that Hobbs was the best team we played all year. And then we followed up with Centennial. So there's things we can take from Hobbs. One of the things is we talked about how we responded to a little bit of adversity. We didn't like our attitude. We didn't like our body language in that regard. And that's something that we really focused on in the second half, is having better body language, showing better energy. And I thought our kids did that. We got to do that for 4 quarters now. We got to play really well. I mean, we got to play well, make it competitive, and try to put pressure on them to make mistakes. And, I mean, that's how we're going to win a game. We're not going to line up and just physically beat up on Centennial. So we've got to play really well, not turn the ball over, force them to have to make tough decisions late in the game, and that's how we're going to have a shot to win it.
And do you think having the experience of playing on Saturday as well will help this week too? Because, I mean, did you feel like that had any impact on?
I mean, but it was Hobbs' first Saturday game too. Yeah. I mean, it's an awkward thing. I mean, it was awkward. There's no band. There's no cheerleaders.
It was so quiet. It was weird.
It's like a JV game. I mean, it was a different environment. So it'll be a little bit different going this week, but Hobbs is in the same boat as well. I mean, we're not going to make excuses. Told our kids day one, we're not going to sit here and say it was Saturday, whatever. Hobbs had to do the same thing. Centennial's had to play on Saturday as well. It's not ideal. It kind of loses the Friday night luster thing and all that stuff, but it is what we have to do because of the referee shortages, so we're going to make the best of it. We told our kids we're 1-0 at Field of Dreams this year, so let's go be 2-0 after Saturday.
Yeah, that's certainly. There's not going to be any bit of intimidation going into that place. Not that there was going in the first game as well, and certainly we hope the weather's going to be a little bit better on Saturday. Certainly looks like it will be for Saturday's game.
I hope so. It was hot on Saturday. I was like, we're back in October, and
it's warm. Yeah. Well, see, I thought it was hot because unfortunately in our press box, the heaters turn on at random times.
They don't, and we can't turn them off.
Yeah,
don't ask me how to manage that one either, because there's one reason why I don't go to the press box.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I don't know, but yeah, that's something you guys don't really care about, so it's all good. We'll see what happens. 2 games left, and obviously the boys know what's in front of them and what they've got to do if they want to be a playoff team.
Yeah, right? I mean, beat Centennial, we're in. If not, then it comes down to the Oregon Mountain game, last game of the year. It's not what we want. I mean, we want to kind of put ourselves in that driver's seat, but we got to control what we control, and we got to go out and play well on Saturday. Let the chips fall where they may, and then see where we stand, and then get ready to come back and win that last home game for sure. But this is a group that should be in the playoffs, and we got to handle business this Saturday and next Friday to make that happen. But this is a group that could be in the playoffs and be at 11 or 12 seed and go make a game with somebody from up north.